I still remember when I was attempting the question of 2026 gate, there was some difficult questions, but I kept saying my mind, if it is difficult for me, it will be difficult for everyone. If it is difficult for me, it will be difficult for everyone. No need of panic. That helped me actually. My mind was very clear. And if you are very fond of watching film, allot some time for that, or do that as a rewarding. If, for example, if I had done very well in test series, I used to reward me by having some good food, or going for a film, or just doing something that entertain me. Maybe going for a drive, or talking with my friends, or just simply sitting. These are the kind of reward that I give to me. Okay, I had done my test well. I had prepared very well for the last couple of 3 days. So I will just take some rest. I don't
Mm.
feel guilty for that. I will
Mm.
find it as a reward system.
You
Yes, yes.
have to treat it like a game where you can improve when you are playing some video games and you are failing at a level. So you keep thinking, what can I improve in my strategy to get better at this, right? You don't stop playing the game
Yes,
altogether.
yes,
So
yes.
same you have to concept you have to apply in your.
You may not feel motivated 100% of time. Every time you can't be motivated. Motivation is something which come and go, which will come at random time, which will come at midnight. But the one thing you can make sure is you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. If you are planning to study at this time, you have to show up. There might be time you are tired. There might be time you are not in mood, but you have to show up.
Hello everyone. In this session, we have GATE 2026 mechanical topper Neeraj with us. Neeraj is from Thrissur and he has done his BTech from College of Engineering Trivandrum, and he was a student of Exergic full video course, question bank, and test series. Congratulations, Neeraj, first of all,
Thank you, sir.
and
Thank you.
tell us about your journey.
Sir, actually, I am 2021 pass out and I have cleared GATE 2022 also with a rank almost 900. And I am currently working in a PSU. So after working 1 year in a PSU, I thought of just shifting the career or moving to some primary institute like BARC or DRDO. So I started preparing for GATE 2025 actually, and I've taken the full video course of Exergic. But actually, what happened is that I had some medical emergencies. I had my health issues. I was affected by pneumonia, TB by that time. So I dropped the preparation for GATE 25
Oh.
because of the medication and my health issues. And I started my preparation in GATE for after GATE 2025. That is May 2025. I started my preparation. And I prepared for 2026 and I was able to score very well and that's all.
So, from your previous attempt, which was 2-3 years ago,
Uh,
till this recent attempt,
hmm.
were you in touch with the syllabus, the questions?
Actually, when I was preparing for 2025 gate, I was almost out of track of gate preparation. But I have watched all the videos of Exergic and I have made notes of it. But by the tail end of preparation, I was affected by pneumonia and TB, so I couldn't continue my preparation and write the gate exam. But so that I can say that, yeah, when I was preparing for 2026, I can say that I was in touch of gate preparation and subjects actually for when I were starting the preparation of 2026. But at that time, the main issue was that I was in a full-time job because I was not a regular 9 to 5 employee because I used to do shift. Night shift used to be there, morning shift used to be there. So it is
Hmm.
not easy to have a schedule because you will have a random messy sleep schedule. You will sleep at random timings. So the thing I used to do is that I used to micromanage things that I used to keep a short notes with me whenever I'm having food or whenever I'm in the company when there is less workload. I used to revise the all the major concept that I made by short notes.
Hmm.
And the thing is that I
Hmm.
religiously follow test series actually because I didn't consider test series as a
Hmm.
separate entity because I believed that it was a part of my preparation. Because soon after I revising one
Hmm.
topic, I used to take topic wise, and soon after I completing subject, I take the subject test. So by that, I was able to evaluate my preparation because I am preparing alone. We are not in a group of people. We are not in a peer actually. So we don't know. We can't evaluate our preparation. So I used to take lot of test series from Exergic question banks so that I was able to get idea of my preparation. So that's a one thing I did different from the last year because I religiously followed test series and I analyzed my mistakes. Even though in some test series like topic wise test I used to score low, but I didn't got demotivated. I just learned the mistakes what I did and I prepared for them.
Perfect. So what was your process of capturing what you are learning? Because from what I understood, that you had to rely a lot on your notes, because you are not a full time aspirant. So in the daytime, always it was not possible to watch video lectures again and again. So what you are covering, what you are understanding from the video lectures, you had to condense that properly in your notes. So please share some tips with the students how to make useful notes, how to make concise notes, or what type of notes you made.
When I was preparing by watching the videos of Exergic, I used to make a big note. And when I am studying it, I used to make a short note. And my entire preparation went through that short notes only. Because I used to revise every, or maybe I used to revise three subjects a day. Along with the studies, I used to revise a max topic, a production topic, and the other topic, maybe thermodynamics, strength of material. And I used to study from these short notes only. If I have some doubt, I will go back to that bulky note I made during the preparation. But my 99% of time, I used to prefer this short note only because that short note is made by me only. So I will have the idea what topic I am missing, where will I make mistake. So it is easy for that to revise quickly. If you are going through that bulky notes, it will be difficult to revise the things or capture things very fast because it will be have derivations, lot of calculations, and these are very concise note. And by revising it, we will touch the all the points of the subject actually.
Correct. So while watching lectures, were you writing each and everything in the one go, or you were writing short notes first and then maybe referring it to again and again?
No, while watching the videos, I used to write down everything. While watching the lecture, I used to write down everything. But after the lecture, I used to study it. Then I will make the short notes because I know this formula I will forget. This concept I will forget. Because while studying, we'll come to that this is a difficult concept, or this is a difficult formula, or this is a trick.
Hmm.
So that thing I will write down in the short notes. And my entire preparation goes through that short note only. Very once in a while only, if I have some conceptual doubt, I will go back to that notes and we'll check it and understand. Okay, okay. Then I will come back to short notes only.
Yes, this is actually the truth. Even in my case, if I remember, hardly I ever refer to my detailed bulky notes. Most of the time, it was short notes, because if you're solving question, you will remain in touch with the concept. Students think that I will forget the concepts, but that will happen if you are
Yes,
out
yes,
of
yes.
touch. If you are revising, if you are solving
No, no,
questions,
no.
you will stay in touch. So how you used to solve questions during the preparation, with the syllabus
Hmm.
coverage, or after finishing the subject, or after finishing the syllabus?
No, no. Actually, the for me, I used to solve lot of questions along the preparation. I didn't find solving numericals as a different entity. It is a part of preparation. Because rather than mugging the things, if you solved a lot of numericals, the concept will be in touch for you. Even if I am revising a subject, maybe if I am revising thermodynamics, I will do one problem from first law, one problem from second law, one problem from entropy. So that problems will cover almost all except.
Hmm.
So it is then I will just go through short notes, done. If within a 1 hour I will complete thermodynamics, within 1 hour or maybe 45 minutes,
Hmm.
I will complete production. Like that only. Because by doing the numericals, we will always remain in touch with the concept rather than reading the concept. I always prefer to do one
Hmm.
numerical. So it will cover almost all aspect, almost formulas, and you will brush up your small tips and all.
Correct, correct. Means it gives you an idea of application, it keeps reminding you of application. And I think it makes the preparation interesting also. Once you
Yes,
solve questions, you actually see
yes,
how you are learning,
yes,
how it
yes,
will
yes.
be applied. So it actually,
Mm,
when you are learning, it keeps one part of
yes,
your
yes,
brain
yes.
open. Ki, oh, what type of question can be framed from this?
And other thing I did was that I solved gate gate previous year question at last only. Because if we start gate previous year question, starting solving it at the beginning of the preparation, our bar will be at that range only. We will set the bar in according to the gate questions only. But for last 4 years, we may find that gate used to ask some questions higher than the standard that used to ask from 2022. The gate questions are getting bit difficult. In 2026 also there was question from thermodynamics which was a bit higher level actually. So I used to solve the difficult questions first and I'll set my bar at a bit higher range. I will solve the questions from standard text, maybe from the question bank of Exergic. The question bank of Exergic actually helped me because they used to solve the descriptive questions. Then only I will move to the gate question because then only otherwise if we start solving only gate questions, our range will be almost around that. If we ask some difficult question, we might be in panic. So that was other strategy I followed.
So what Neeraj did is something different, because generally students try to check PYQs, solve PYQs parallel to their syllabus to get an idea of what types of questions are asked, and accordingly they will also make their notes. But what Neeraj did is he solved PYQs in the end. Or did you check PYQs sometimes in between when
Yeah. Yeah.
going through the syllabus? You did, right?
Maybe I will check the PYQs, but I don't. Yeah, I check the PYQs, but I don't majorly dependent on that. Actually, used to solve very lengthy questions from maybe question bank of Exergic, maybe from standard text, especially for mechanics. Then
Hmm.
only for revision time, for revising. When I was prepared, I used to solve some question. For that only, I randomly pick the PYQs and I will solve it. So that we will be in touch with that. If you start from the PYQs, personally, I feel that your preparation will be almost at bar of gate. Sometimes gate may ask tough questions, lengthy questions. As we see in 2026, there were some questions like that. So better to be prepare more than the gate so that you won't get panic while if the difficult question asks.
Yes, correct. So you can use PYQs to get an idea, but always keep in mind that that is
Right.
not the bar, right? You have to be preparing at a level
Yes,
above
yes,
gate,
yes,
right?
yes.
Only then you will be able to solve gate
About
questions,
gate.
if especially
Yes,
if it
yes,
is a difficult
yes,
paper.
yes, yes.
So how were your 3 hours
Yes.
in gate this time, Neeraj? What was going on in your mind?
That is the main thing that, yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, when I was preparing for 2022, I was like, in my mind, there was a set marks. I should score 80. I should score. There was a mark set in my mind. So after losing
Hmm.
one 2 mark question, actually, I'm calculating in my mind. I'm losing that mark. I'm losing this mark. But when I was preparing for 2026, I kept like that. I will do my preparation very well. I won't be that much result oriented, but I will enjoy the process and I will do whatever that's possible for me. And during the paper, I will be like when I still remember when I was yeah, attempting the question of 2026 gate, there was some difficult questions, but I kept saying in my mind, if it is difficult for me, it will be difficult for everyone. If it is difficult for me, it will be difficult for everyone. No need of panic. That helped me actually. My mind was very clear at the time of preparing or by writing the gate exam. I was very well. My mind was very clear. If a question comes, I will read it. I read it again. If it is not doable, I will skip it. But I never set a target mark in my mind. Okay, if it is difficult for me, it will be difficult for everyone. That actually smoothened my gate attempt actually, because I had done very few calculation errors. So that
Hmm.
mindset actually matters a lot because people used to get panic while seeing the question paper because especially beginners used to panic. But you have to make sure that you have done your preparation well. Rest, it will come. If you have done your preparation very well, if you have put enough effort, if you have solved enough questions, don't panic about the exam. You have to enjoy the process and
Hmm.
rest leave it because before 1 hour of gate, I was not doing anything. I was just sitting in the control, just sitting in the exam center. I was just scrolling some mobile. I didn't take the stress actually because I know taking stress won't fetch you anything.
Mm,
So I was my that actually
mm.
that mindset is very very important actually, especially if you are preparing for some gate for prepare for competitive exam. That mindset matters a lot actually.
Absolutely. There are many good students this time, I must say, who were doing very good in their tests earlier, means in test series, but in gate they have not been so successful in terms of marks.
Yes,
And I think the sole reason is panic, is maybe self doubt, because there were such two three questions in gate which will make you doubt yourself. But
yes,
at that time what Neeraj did, that if you have prepared well, you have worked hard, and if you are not able to solve it, rest assured 99%, 99.9% other students also will struggle in that question.
yes,
So that reminder you have to keep giving
yes,
yourself,
yes.
so that your mind is calm, you don't panic,
Panic
because once you panic, silly mistakes happen.
happens.
In this attempt, what do you think? Your silly mistakes were in control, or
Yeah,
you made some mistakes?
yeah, I made one mistake, but that we can't say it is a silly mistake. Actually, I forgot to put a decimal. Yeah, if it didn't happen, my marks would be much better. But it happens because it's a 3 hour exam. It happens. Silly mistakes will
Mm,
happen,
mm.
but
It
it
happens.
happens. We can't control, we can't stop it, but we can control it actually. If your mind is very cool, you can control it, but we can't stop it actually. So that's why I say to every aspirants, like
Yes,
keep
yes.
your mind very calm. Keep your mind very calm. Enjoy the process and prepare well. It will go well.
Mm.
No need of panicking during the exam. If you have done your part clear, if you have done your part clear, just leave it.
Neeraj, how you remain consistent during your preparation? Because you see, I think with job it is even more difficult to manage, but still you maintained the consistency even though job was having shift based work, still you managed. So what tips would you give to students, or to your maybe other aspirants who are preparing with job, or even those who are in college,
Hmm.
who are your juniors, that how should they remain consistent
Yeah.
during their preparation?
Yeah, the thing is that you may not feel motivated 100% of time. Every time you can't be motivated. Motivation is something which come and go, which will come at random time, which will come at midnight. But the one thing you can make
Mm.
sure is you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. If you are planning to study at this time, you have to show up. There might be time you are tired. There might be time you are not in mood, but you have to show up. There might be time, there were time actually, I was not in a mood. I was tired to take test series because I am doing night shift duty. My sleep cycle is messed up. But you have to show up. You have to remain disciplined because if you have a schedule, you have tried to be in that schedule. There might be variation, but you have to be try to be disciplined actually because motivation does not fetch you mark. The discipline will fetch you mark. So you have to be disciplined and you have to enjoy the process actually. Because for that, I ask everyone to take test series. You will get a real time data of competition. If you are preparing alone solving questions, there will be a less chance that you will enjoy the process. If you are taking test series, if you are okay, you are analyzing your mistake, then rectifying that mistake. So you will find your preparation like very good. You will enjoy the preparation. And that's how you can maintain the discipline.
Yes,
So maintaining discipline is very difficult. So that you should enjoy the process, what you're doing. So that's what I'm saying, that you should be disciplined actually. Even though you're not in that mood to study, just show up. Just show up for test series. Just show up for preparation. Then it will work actually.
correct, correct. Absolutely. Means you don't have to rely on motivation, because as Neeraj said, it comes and goes. But even if you don't want, even if you don't feel like it, still just sit down, go through some concepts, maybe revise, maybe solve some tests to keep you on toes. And solving tests actually gamifies your preparation, right? You
Yes, yes.
have to treat it like a game where you can improve. When you are playing some video games, and you are failing at a level. So you keep thinking, what can I improve in my strategy to get better at this, right? You don't stop playing the game
Yeah.
altogether.
Yes.
So
Yes.
same you have to concept you have to apply in your test series. Think what you can improve,
Yes.
and then you come at it again. But what students do, they get low marks, they think, Are, I am gone, my preparation is bad. They just stop writing test series, they stop their preparation sincerely. So you have to, as Neeraj said, keep it interesting, enjoy the process,
Yes.
gamify it in the form of test and marks.
Yes.
So that's quite important. But I'm sure during this entire preparation journey, in most of the student cases, some incident occurs, some duration, some phase which gets very difficult, very challenging.
Yes.
So I'm sure in your case also, when you were not
Yes.
well physically, that was the duration. So how did you handle that? What was your mindset? What was going on
If
in that phase?
yeah, there was time in preparation we feel like we should stop it, but that maybe that might be a momentary thought. So maybe you should take a break. You should go for some physical activity. It will enhance your mood because yeah, it happens because we are only preparing. We are dealing with the bigger concepts. It might happen that we might be bored, but don't stop your preparation. Just take a break. Go and meet your friends. Have a good food. Just go and just play some, have some physical activity. You will come back to it. You will come back to it
Hmm.
because it happens that if you're in preparation
Hmm.
for every aspirant, there will be a time at you will be at your lowest point. But that is not a sign to stop the preparation. That might be a sign to come back stronger. So I ask everyone, it happens in a preparation journey that it happens that
Absolutely.
you won't be at a constant pace. There will be ups and downs. But that is not the sign to stop it. That is a sign to come back stronger, do something good.
Absolutely. But what happens that when student takes such breaks, it gets very difficult for them to come back. They get distracted.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll start watching some movie, some series, and they'll just devote a lot of time to that, and then they will just preparation will take a back seat. So how do you suggest to handle distraction? How should they handle distraction? Because these are parts of life, right? They must manage these things also, a little time to these things
yes,
as well. But sometimes they get highly distracted by all this,
yes.
especially if they're watching reels and whatnot. So what would you suggest them to handle? How should they handle distractions?
I won't ask anyone to stop every social media. I won't say that actually. If you are very fond of watching film, allow some time for that. Or do that as a rewarding. If, for example, if I had done very well in test series, I used to
Mm,
reward me by having some good food or going for a film or just doing something that entertain me. Maybe going for a drive or talking with my friends or just simplicity. These are the kind of rewards that I give to me. Okay, I
mm,
had done my test well. I had prepared very well for the last couple of 3 days. So I will just take some rest. I don't feel
mm,
guilty for that. I will
mm.
find it as a reward system. Okay, my body has done all this thing. So I let me reward with things that body likes. Maybe I will just sleep or I watch
Yes.
something or I will call my friends. So don't feel guilty if you have taken some
Mm,
short breaks. That is actually required for preparation because gate preparation or any competitive exam preparation is like that. It is not a 2 or 3 days process. It's a long run. So it happens that you need break. You have
yes.
because for me I am already
Mm,
working. I have already work stress. So it is not like our body needs some rest. Body
yes.
needs some recreational activity. So I always find it, yeah, I have done this. Let me take a rest.
Mm,
I have done this much question. I have scored this well in test series. Let me reward me. So in that process, you won't feel guilty.
mm,
Some people used to feel guilty if say they wasted 1 hour. I wasted 1 hour. Don't feel that. Be light on you. Watch films if you want. Just reward you. That will enhance your preparation, enhance your mood. That will eventually
yes.
help
Yes.
you.
What I can understand from what different points that Neeraj is sharing, that he actually gamified and enjoyed the entire process.
Yes.
He worked hard, solved good questions, learned from them, rewarded himself, then solved again. So he actually made the entire journey gamified by giving himself some challenges, then maybe some rewards like this. So it keeps you on toes. It does not make the preparation boring. It keeps it very interesting.
Yes,
So useful points.
yes,
I'm sure if you implement these points, they will make the journey be enjoyable for you.
yes, yes.
Neeraj, any favorite subject
Obviously, thermodynamics.
and why? What tips will you give to students for this subject and why was this your favorite?
Because this thermodynamics concept, there are some concepts in thermodynamics that are very beautifully executed. For example, entropy. There are some problems in thermodynamics you can solve with different methods. Actually, I didn't prepare any
Yes.
formulas for thermodynamics. I just, uh, I didn't memorize any formulas. For example, there are lot of formulas in uh, irreversibility, exergic. There are formulas actually.
Yes.
I just, I didn't memorize any
Hmm.
formula. I just use the concept. If it is maximum work, put a delta S gen is equal to 0, then solve it. So I like the process because I didn't study any formulas
Yes.
for it. I just use the concept. And that's very important for preparation of any competitive exam because you can't rely on formulas. Just understand the concept and apply it. So that's why I like thermodynamics very much. You can go through different path and you can arrive at the same answer. So that's why thermodynamics is my favorite.
Yes, absolutely. So, like you said,
Hmm.
that in thermodynamics, students should know the basic concepts well. If you look at everything, it is more or less mass conservation,
Hmm.
energy conservation, and the laws of thermodynamics, right?
Thermodynamics.
If you keep them in mind, most of the questions you will be able to solve. That are there are just one or two step ahead
Hmm.
from the basic concept.
Yes.
So these are the tips that you should remember. In fact, it should give you courage that even if a new type of question comes,
Hmm.
if you apply the basics, you should be able to get it.
Hmm.
For example, the question that we got in 2026 that may be new for some students, the graph one,
Yes. Yes.
the regenerative
Regen
cycle one.
cycle.
But if you apply the basics, you will be able to reach the
You
answer.
can-
Yes, yes, right. By eliminating the options, by looking at the diagram, what is going on, you will be able to conclude it. It's
That's
not
it.
so difficult.
Difficult.
So if you have covered basic concept and if you are confident, you will be able to answer such
Yes.
even
Sure.
difficult looking questions.
Questions.
In the end, what qualities do you think that GATE aspirants must have? We have discussed quite a few qualities, but anything that you would like to add or we missed discussing?
For me, it's perseverance. There might be ups and downs. There sometimes there might be students who have scored well in test series, might not score well in actual exam, but don't get demotivated. You have to pursue for it. You have to work on it. Maybe there are a lot of exam that's coming. Bark exam is coming. You may excel in that. So you have to have that dedication and perseverance for that. You have to pursue the dream that what you want. Sometimes you may fall apart, but you have to pursue what you actually want, and the universal rewarding.
Absolutely. Since you have put in the work, this exam, if not this one, the next one, if not this year, maybe after a few months, but if you just uh, stay focused
Yes,
and just believe in your hard
yes,
work, so ultimately it is going to pan out well for you, because there are some students that I know who were quite well prepared, but they just panicked by
yeah.
seeing two three such questions, and they have not done that well. So this message is for those of you as well.
If you have put your effort, somehow you will get what you want actually. And if you are doing anything rather than more focusing on the results, do the things that is in control of you. But there are a lot of things that are you can control actually. Your hard work, your the way you work, and the results. How will
Hmm.
the question paper come?
Hmm.
That was not the things that is in your hand. You can't control that. But there are a lot of
Hmm.
parameters that you can control. You can manage your time. You can prepare well. So in any aspect of life, you have more worried about the things that you can control. Just
Hmm.
leave the things that you can't control. How will be the paper come? Will it be difficult? That is none of your thing. Just do the things that you can control, and you have
Yes.
to worry only things that you can control. leave everything apart.
Very good practical points shared by Neeraj throughout the discussion. So I'm sure those of you who are paying attention, those who are learning from this interaction, they are going to immensely benefit from the various tips that Neeraj has shared in this interaction. I once again congratulate you, Neeraj, for your success in GATE 2026, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. Thanks a lot.